सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति। Chapter 5, the vital role of the intellect. The vital role of the intellect is in connection to the previous topic, mind wreaks havoc. So, first thing, you understand mind wreaks havoc. How does the mind wreaks havoc? What is the mind? Mind is the raw energy, the raw power, the raw strength. That raw power energy of the mind has to be directed. Again, mind has that raw power, the strength, the energy. That raw power, strength, energy of the mind has to be directed properly. Now, when it is directed properly, it is beneficial. So, that which directs the power and energy is the intellect. So, the vital role of the intellect is to direct the raw energy and power of the mind. For example, the power of the mind is to get attached. The same power of attachment is what the intellect uses as a conviction, goal, aspiration. So energy is from the mind. If it is not directed, it is so dangerous and detrimental. If it is directed, it is beneficial. Therefore, the first thing that we understand about the vital role of the intellect is to direct the raw power and energy of the mind, which we saw already. That power cannot self-regulate. If it can regulate by itself, there's no need for somebody to manage it from outside. The very fact that it needs to be managed by something else means it cannot do it by itself. So it has power, it has energy, it has strength, or it has power and energy only when it is directed, it becomes a strength. If it is not directed, it is detriment. That's why in the Vedanta treatise, it will be called as the strength of emotion. The emotion should become a strength. Forget it. Today, emotion is the weakness at all. Why? Because it is simply undirected. It's not directed. It's not guided. And it doesn't like to be guided. It doesn't like to be directed. It doesn't like to be guided. In the sense, will anybody wake up and say, I want to be disciplined? Nobody. Will any child wake up and say, I'm getting late for school? No child will get up in the morning and say, I'm getting late for school. For the bus that comes at 7:30, the child has to be woken up at 5 o'clock. From 5 o'clock, you wake up the child will wake up at 7:20, it will wake up. In 10 minutes, it will do everything and get into the bus. Imagine the child says, it wakes up at 5 o'clock and wakes up the parents saying, something wrong. No, that's weird. No, isn't it? It cannot regulate by, that is the mind. The unregulated, unguided, ungoverned energy and power plays havoc. That's the previous topic, mind wreaks havoc. So mind tricks evoke means the power, the energy, the strength that is not guided properly, and it cannot guide by itself. Therefore, it has to come from you only. It cannot guide itself, nor somebody from outside can guide it. Again, it cannot guide itself. Can anybody from outside guide? Nobody from outside can also guide, because it will simply refuse to listen. It will just turn stubborn and refuse to listen. It means the guiding mechanism also has to come from within. That guiding mechanism that comes from within is known as the buddhi, the intellect. That is the vital role of the intellect. And what is intellect? It has two things. It acts, it has the capacity to act on existing knowledge and also can gain more knowledge. Again, it has two things. One is, at any given point of time, you can act according to your existing knowledge only. At any given point of time, you can act according to your existing knowledge. And to expect a person to act differently is insane. Because you can act according to your, at any given point of time, you can act according to your knowledge only. At the same time, you can gain more knowledge. So what is it that we are discussing here? That using that capacity to gain more knowledge. At any given point of time, you can act according to your existing knowledge, and also you can gain more knowledge. At any given point of time, you have X amount of strength, you can exercise and develop more strength. Similarly, knowledge. Therefore, what is the vital role of the intellect? With the existing capacity, it should be able to guide the mind to some extent and also gain more knowledge. By that knowledge it gains, it becomes stronger. Again, by knowledge in Vedanta, we don't mean information, bookish knowledge. If bookish knowledge can make us wise, we all should have become wise by now already, isn't it? We have seen that any number of times. If bookish knowledge can make us wise, we all should have become wise already. It means, then what is that knowledge that we are discussing? The knowledge that guides you to do the right thing. The knowledge that guides you to do the right thing. The knowledge that tells you to do the right thing. Your mind will rebel. Mind will say, no. The knowledge that tells you the right thing also has to tell you the consequences. So, two consequences it will say. What are the two consequences? The consequence of listening and the consequence of not listening. If you listen, these are the consequences. If you don't listen, these are the consequences. That's why all the Shastras, that Palashruti is very important. Palashruti means indicating the benefits. The benefit has to be indicated rightly. In the Lakshmi Ashtakam, there is a Palashruti, no? Ekagale paten nityam. Huh? Ekagale paten nityam. Mahapapa vinashanam. Dvikalam yaf paten nityam. Mahashatru vinashanam. Trikalam yaf paten nityam. Dhanadhanya samanvitaha. It goes on telling you at if you do it once, what will happen? In a day, if you say it once, what will happen? In a day, if you say twice, what will happen? In a day, if you say thrice, what will happen? Okay, if you don't say at all, that also has to be told, no? That also has to be told. So what will happen? Exactly the opposite of it will happen. This is the vital role of the, so this is known as the vital role of the intellect. What is that vital role of the intellect? The vital role of the intellect is the capacity to govern the mind with the existing knowledge and strength, and also gain more knowledge, more strength. Knowledge In knowledge here means not information, not intelligence. Knowledge here means conviction. Knowledge, conviction, Shraddha, all are used synonymously in the vital role of the intellect. Knowledge, conviction, Shraddha, all will be used very, very synonymously. In the general parlance, knowledge has a different meaning. And then from knowledge, we talk about wisdom is separate. Knowledge means you know it. Wisdom means you are convinced about what you know. Again, knowledge means you know it. Wisdom means you are convinced about what you know. Knowledge means you should be dharmic. Wisdom means what? What is wisdom? Knowledge tells you have to be dharmic. Now, what is wisdom? What is wisdom? Under any circumstances, you will not get tempted. Then it is wisdom. You have to know dharmic. Then what is wisdom means? Under any circumstance, you will not get tempted. Supposing if there are some situations where you can get tempted, it means that's your strength. That's all your strength is. Understand this. The strength of the chain is the weakest link. The strength of the chain is the weakest link. And we all will not have multiple weak links. We all have one or two weak links. We will not have 10, 15 weak links. We'll have only one or two. And that one, two itself is enough. Why we need 10, 15 la? Yeah, that one, two itself is enough to break the chain. Therefore, what is the vital role of the intellect? The vital role of the intellect is to make use of the existing knowledge and to gain more knowledge. Is to make use of the existing conviction and gain more conviction. Is to make use of the existing conviction and gain more conviction. This is the vital role of the intellect. So to summarize all that we have been discussing till now, the vital role of the intellect. One sentence. Unguided power and energy is destructive. That's the vital role of the intellect. So previous topic said mind wreaks havoc, meaning unguided. Unguided mind wreaks havoc. That's all. Mind wreaks havoc means what you have to put in that within brackets. Unguided, unregulated. So now what is the vital role of the intellect? Is to guide. When it is guided, mind will not wreak havoc. The energy can be used constructively, positively. Always remember, energy strength comes from the mind. Intellect can only direct it. Intellect doesn't give energy. Intellect only directs energy. We have seen that example, no? The river and the river banks. The river and the river banks. No water, no useless. If the only solid banks are, but no water. Yeah, banks are very solid. Dry bone, dry sand, what will you do there? Again, the water is flowing but breached all the time. Again, it is of no use. Therefore, what is the vital role of the intellect? Energy, which is already there, that comes from the emotions, the mind has to be channelized. Channelizing is challenging because the flow has to be directed, isn't it? Imagine changing the course of the river. How difficult it is to change the course of the river. How difficult it is to put up a dam, isn't it? Every time you see a dam, it's so scary, no? At least I get scared. What if it, no, what if it, the engineer will say, yeah, Ganesh will certify, it will not break, sir. And the fact that he is certifying makes it all the more scarier, isn't it? If I have already decided not to buy a house, I will take Ganesh for advice. He will say, perfect buildings are super, this he will say. No, Ganesh said, no, it will not work. Change it. Again. If I have already decided, I will not even tell him. Look at that. You see that how how difficult it is to change the direction, how difficult it is to monitor the direction, how difficult it is to monitor the force and change. That's what in the Bhagavad Gita he says, it is balavat, it's dridam, he says. It's balavat, obstinate. Yeah, it is obstinate. Strong in the sense of obstinate. Balavat means it is obstinate. Obstinate. It is. To direct that requires extraordinary power, which comes from the intellect. And from where does intellect get that power? The intellect get that power from the Shastric study. Where does the intellect get that power? Intellect get that power only from the Shastric study. Intellect will not get this power from studying physics, chemistry, mathematics. By studying physics, chemistry, mathematics, intellect will not develop power to channelize the mind. If the Shastric study doesn't happen, mind will hijack the intellect. That's what is happening today. The human mind hijacks. Science is hijacked by what? Science is hijacked by what? Likes and dislikes, the mind. At least that much you should understand now. There's no problem with the science. Science is not wrong. The mind that is hijacking it. Why does it hijack? Because it is not that there's no Shastric study that is strengthening the intellect. The physics and mathematics and chemistry will only make the mind powerful, by which it can hijack the. Therefore, what is the vital role of the intellect? The vital role of the intellect is to gain knowledge from the Shastric study. It is the Shastric study that can strengthen the intellect. Any other study will only make the intellect held hostage by the mind. Where have we studied intellect held hostage by the mind? Somewhere we have studied, no, before. Where did we study? The intellect held hostage by the mind, the poem Pond. The poem Pond, we have studied how the mind is held hostage by, how the intellect is held hostage by the mind. After discovering that nuclear science and everything, etc., they decided to make the bomb and test. Einstein went and pleaded to everybody, don't do it. You don't know what you are doing. What did the society tell them? What did they tell him? For your discovery, you have given Nobel Prize, no? Just stay quiet with it. You discovered, for which you are given. We have acknowledged you. How did we acknowledge you? By giving you Nobel Prize. Adhik we know how to make use of it. It is why the scientist who doesn't have an intellect becomes the greatest problem makers of the world. Unintentionally, though. They don't intend to do that, but ultimately ending up in greater misery, because it goes into the control of whom? It goes into the whose control? Whose hands it goes into? Unguided mind. It goes into the hands of those whose minds are not. He said, don't drop the bomb. They said, another chance we will not get. Is that a reason or what? Is that a reason or what to drop the? Is that a reason or what to drop the bomb? They said, another chance we will not get. Isn't it? See, Japan has already surrendered 3 days back. There's no need for them to drop the. There's no need for them to drop. And he went and said, "Don't do it." But they said no. Why? Because that over enthusiasm, unguided mind. That's what the unguided mind is. They get so enthusiastic, so enthusiastic, and they go and do something. And then what they do goes out of their hands. And then who takes control of it? Who takes control of it? Those whose mind are not under. So the scientist mind is also not under control. The one who makes use of it is also not under their control. Ultimately, what will happen? Ultimately, what will happen? Whatever is happening now, isn't it? Ultimately, what will happen? We don't want to read newspapers. We don't want to read. We don't want to associate with anything with the world. No, why? Because there's nothing. There are so many good things happening, but nobody is interested in paying attention to the good things. It's not that good things are not happening, please. But do you ever get to see any good thing that has happened? No, you will get to hear only. Why? Because that's what the mind likes. What is the vital role of the intellect is to break this. In order to break that, intellect has to gain knowledge. What knowledge? Shastric knowledge. So vital role of the intellect is to guide the mind under Shastric knowledge. If not, what will happen? First dangerous formula. If not, what is the first dangerous formula? People have success erases all wrongdoings. People believe that. People believe all that you have to do is what? Become successful. Because success erases all wrongdoings. Success will not erase all wrongdoings. It will come back. When it comes back, you won't even know why it has come. You won't even know why it has come. The first problem of unguided mind is the wrong notion. What? Success erases all wrongdoings. Philosophy will on losers is that. All those who have lost, losers then will sit and talk philosophy. All the winners will go where? I don't know where they will go. I don't know where winners will go. Losers எல்லாம் எங்க இருக்கிறாங்க? யாரெல்லாம்? Shankar, Amit. Amit, I don't know why you also came. Amit, Vijay, Deepika, Venkatachalam. I'm seeing names. Winners won't come to philosophy. Who will come to philosophy? Only Aparna. Only அதான் village preacher. Broken soldiers, spendthrift. அதான் village preacher. Really, it's so good. The Lord doesn't change at all. Why? Because second, the unguided mind feels so powerful, all-knowing. It is like the brash of the youth. Yavana Garbham it is. The unguided mind is like that Yavana Garbham. It's so brash. It feels that. It feels, I know what I'm doing. So first one is success erases all wrongdoings. Second problem of unguided mind is what? It is like the teenage. Unguided mind functions like, it's okay to be in teenage for 2-3 years. Imagine permanently being a life of teenage. At 50, you behave like a teenager. At 80, also you behave like a teenager. Another next janma, again you become a teenager. Now, how? So, second problem of not having the intellect is what? So powerful it is, so good it is, so wonderful to be the teen, so powerful it is, so good it is. But then you can't be in that all the time. Unguided mind wants to be in that intoxicated state all the time. It's a state of intoxication. In that intoxicated state, it will think it knows everything, isn't it? and it takes pride in being a rebel, no? Unguided mind takes pride in being a rebel. It is good to be a rebel at one point of time. That's how you grow. But then you can't be stuck in that forever. If you are stuck in that forever, what will happen? You'll just be stubborn. That's all. There's no rebel. You just become stubborn. That's it. Everyone follow? Okay. What is the modern day terminology for stubborn? Nowadays, I don't use the word stubborn. Modern day terminology for a stubborn mind. Ego. What is the modern day terminology for the stubborn mind? Depression. I'm depressed, sir. Stubborn mind, that's all. Give. All that you need to do is what? Give. Give one to yourself. Okay. Problem is you can give it to yourself. You can't give it to anybody else. The biggest difficulty is you can do it to yourself, but you just can't do it to anybody else. The vital role of the intellect. Absence of the vital intellect. First is it gives a wrong notion. What all that matters is what? Become successful. Doesn't matter hook or crook. Become successful, because success erases all wrongdoings. Second, emotions. Emotions get so it's so addictive to be in that state of the teenage, isn't it? Neither knows anything nor it doesn't know. Another Tamil beautiful. I don't know what is the English word for. Yeah, Tamil a beautiful word for teenage, no? What is the beautiful word for Tamil? எப்படி சொல்லுவாங்க teenage? என்னப்பா? விடலை பருவம்வாங்களா? அது இன்னும் தெரியல எனக்கு. What is the Tamil word for teenage? ரெண்டும் கட்டான்றது. I don't know how to say that in English now. Hindi la, how would you say that? Does anybody know Hindi here? Nobody knows Hindi, yeah? அந்த அம்மா ஹிந்தி தெரியும்னு நினைச்சுன்னு வேலை எல்லாம் கொடுத்து வச்சிருக்கிறாங்க. இல்லையா? She's saying I need time. And 40 years of earning bread and butter through Hindi language. She's earning her bread and butter through Hindi language for 40 years. I'm asking her about, she's saying, I need to think and get back. தமிழ்னா ஈஸி சார். அப்புறம் என்ன ஹிந்தி? கம்னு தமிழே படிச்சிருக்க வேண்டியதானே. Beautiful word, teenage. It means it's neither here nor there. It doesn't know. It thinks it knows, but it doesn't know. Weird state it is. Teenager. I'm not asking for teenage. I'm asking for ரெண்டு கட்டான்னு சொல்லுங்க. I don't want the big வீடலை பருவம் எல்லாம் I know. இல்லை, I'm asking for ரெண்டு கட்டா. I'm asking. ஏன்னா அதுதான் conveys the meaning, no? Somebody puts some no போடுறாங்க. I don't understand any of these Hindi words. Doesn't matter. And anyway, that language is not worth it. Anyway, that language is not worth it. And being in, and we are all proper. We have proper blood. Yeah. All languages. Kannada I learnt in 3 months. Telugu also, but that one language is not coming. Really, it's not coming. I lived there. I tried, but then I understood. I have a proper, authentic Tamil blood. Yeah, we will not accept under any circumstance. We will not. So, that is what mind is. That's what teenage is. That's what the mind is. And that is so intoxicating to be like that. It is so addictive to be like that. And you take pride in being like that. Why? The raw power, the raw energy makes you to feel that everything is under your. That's why you find an impulsive person will be a very confident person. Have you ever seen that? An impulsive person will not be a confused person at all. Somebody is so confident. In my head, I know this person is so impulsive, because impulsive person has the behavior of confidence. So confident that person is. Why? Because that power, that energy make that person believe they know what they're, not. Because the moment a bit of doubt comes, some clarity will come. No, doubt will not come at all. Doubt will not come at all. That's the raw energy. Intellect has to guide. That is the vital role of the intellect. யார் படிக்க போறாங்க? Who's going to study today? Huh? Who's going to study today? Deepika,
I'll do it, sir.
Study chapter 5.
Deepika,
Yes, I'm ready.
the volume.
Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just reading chapter 5, the vital role of the intellect. Humanity has stopped thinking. The human race suffers from the virus of attachment and aversion, greed and envy, lust and jealousy, and a host of other painful emotions. The virus has destroyed the human intellect. Even the intelligentsia have stopped thinking, inquiring. They seem quite complacent with merely obtaining information, knowledge from external sources. The knowledge thus acquired provides them with mere intelligence, and they become informed on one or more subjects. But that does not develop one's original, independent thinking, free from past influence and bias. William Shakespeare, in his play Julius Caesar, deplored the fall of the human intellect centuries back in his oft-quoted declaration, "O judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason." There is a dire need for human beings to develop the intellect and use it to control, direct the mind's activity towards their resurrection. People have lost their faculty to think, to reason. Few understand thinking, reasoning as a human prerogative. No other species is blessed with this faculty. Humans must revive it for their survival. They are not innately endowed with the ability to think clearly and logically, and they do not care to develop it. Thinking is not something that comes to you naturally, like respiration or perspiration. You must devote time and effort to question, reason, and build your intellect. The problem with the lack of intellect is actually graver than it appears to be. It is aggravated by the fact that one needs an intellect to notice the absence of intellect. Projecting this observation to the extreme, an insane person does not know he is insane. So has the German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer observed, "Intellect is invisible to the man who has none." The plight of human beings is that they do not know their activities lack the support of thought, reason, or judgment. The mass of humanity mechanically follows a routine pattern of life set by its predecessors. There is little investment of rationale or logic in the present mode of living. People are unaware that their lives are following a herd instinct. They do not realize the gravity of the situation, like a person not knowing that he is suffering from a malady. To have a disease in your body is serious enough, but to have it and not be aware of it would be disastrous, even fatal. The need of the hour is to recognize this grave situation and to build the intellect. Start the process by thinking, examining, and questioning every moment every facet of life. Thank you.
Two types of questioning. One is how to fulfill my likes and dislikes is one kind of question. Another kind of questioning is, what is another kind of questioning? There are two opposite types of questioning. One kind of questioning is how to fulfill my desires, is one type of questioning. Another type of questioning is what? The very cause, the very existence of likes and dislikes. It's two diametrically opposite thinking process. So whenever we talk about intellect, which process of thinking we are talking about? Which process of thinking that we are talking about as will help to grow intellect? Not the first one, the second one. What is the first one? Again, I repeat. Intellect can question everything in two ways. First way is how to fulfill my likes and dislikes. How I have desires, how to fulfill those desires is one way of thinking. I want something, how to get it. I don't want this, how to get rid of it. Isn't it? That is also thinking. I want it. What should I do to get it? I want to get rid of it. What should I do to get rid of it? Now, this is not accepted as thinking in Vedanta. This is what everybody does anyway. Then what is meant by thinking? There is another angle to thinking. What is another angle to thinking? The very cause of desire, the very purpose of fulfilling the desire, and what happens after that. You have a desire, you fulfill the desire, what happens? What is it that you are seeking truly? Questioning. What is it that you are seeking truly is the first question. In the proper way of development of intellect. In the way that people misunderstand thinking, they have taken for granted. What is taken for granted? Fulfillment of likes and dislikes is the purpose of life is taken for granted. Again, I repeat. Fulfillment of desires is the purpose of life, is taken for granted. In order to fulfill that purpose of life is to fulfill your likes and dislikes. What you need to fulfill your likes and dislikes? What you need to fulfill your likes and dislikes? What you need? What do you need to fulfill your likes and dislikes? Huh? What do you need to fulfill your likes and dislikes? Kriparamanan. Correct. Wealth is required to fulfill your likes and dislikes. Therefore, chasing wealth and acquiring and hoarding, etc., becomes a legitimate pursuit. Are you able to follow? Which is what Vedanta calls as the wrong way of thinking, non-thinking at all it is. It doesn't say it as wrong way of thinking, it calls it as zero thinking, non-thinking it is. Then what is then there is another way to live life. What is another way to live life? What is the very purpose of likes and dislikes? Don't ask what is the purpose of life. Don't worry about that question. That's a very useless question to ask. Because in order to ask the purpose of life, you should have pursued Arthakama at a very highest dharmic level, found it's useless, and then only you can ask what is the purpose of life, Allah. Right now, asking purpose of life is like asking, did you read newspaper today? More than that, it makes no sense. So anybody asking what is the purpose of life and all doesn't make any Therefore, what is the question that you have to ask in order to, for the intellect to exercise? First question that you have to ask, what is the purpose of desires? What is the purpose of desires? What is the purpose of likes and dislikes? Don't ask purpose of life. That is it's a very good entertaining question. It's like saying, ask who am I? You don't have any doubt at all as to who you are, then how can you ask who am I? Isn't it? Who am I? You can ask only if you are completely confused. Who will ask who am I? Clear. Therefore, these questions like what is the purpose of life, who am I, and all these questions which are redundant questions. Or it gives you such a good kick, that's all. You can ask that question, get 4 answers, get 40 answers, and get so intellectually entertained, no transformation will happen. Vedanta is not proposing the truth. Then what is the right way of thinking? Right way of thinking is to question. What are you going to question now? You are not questioning the purpose of life. You are questioning the purpose of desires. What is the purpose of desires? What is the purpose of likes? What is the purpose of me chasing wealth? I am chasing wealth. Why? I chase wealth. Why? If I don't chase wealth, I cannot go on fulfill my, I cannot go and do what I have to do. After the class is over, if my car has run out of fuel, I cannot go to the nearest petrol station here and say, Om Sahana Bhavatu and start. Isn't it? I cannot do that. Om Sahana Bhavatu. Just now I spoke about the vital role of intellect. All this I spoke. That fellow will ask, Dusa sir, Ninda, he will ask. Say, are you off your head or what? Pay the bill, fill the tank, pay the bill and get out. So why are you, why? So it means it looks so clear. At one layer, it looks so clear. Then what are we even questioning there? What is it that Vedanta is saying question? You follow? What is it that Vedanta is saying? Question. Through wealth, you are seeking something else. What is that? What is it that you are seeking through wealth? Something else you are seeking. Okay. If that is what you are seeking, are you sure you are going to get it here? First, clarity on what is it that you are seeking. Second, clarity is where to find it. This is basic clarity in life. Yeah, basic clarity in life is what? Knowing what you are seeking. Other clarity number 1. Clarity number 2, where to get it. Clarity number 3, where you will not get it. That's what he calls as thinking. Very intellect on. Again, what does thinking means? What is it that you are seeking? Ask yourself, what is it that you are seeking? In order to rightly understand what you are seeking, that's where the technique of Pratipaksha Bhavana comes and helps you. How to understand what you are seeking is that or something else through that, isn't it? Therefore, first layer of thinking is what? What is it that you are seeking? After knowing what is it that you are seeking, second clarity is to where to get it. Third, where not to. Third clarity. Modalla, what is it that you are seeking? Second is where to get it. Third point in a one. Where not to get it. Other 2B. 2A, 2B. First is what you want. 2A, where to get it. 2B, where not to get it. That is 2A and 2B. What is the third one? How long time it? How long it will take? How long time sir it? Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate. I don't want. Daitagara madri, you will go out enlightened and now you will. So third thing is what? How long? In that, how long indicates your Shraddha. How long indicates your Shraddha. If somebody says, Abdina Kuturam sir, you will be very instant loan or documentation and 3 months of running around. What will people like? What will people like? Documentation or instant loan, sir? Instant of all that we'll see later. Yeah. Are you able to follow? So, third clarity. How long? How long? Fourth clarity. What? After getting it, after getting it, how long it will be with me without diminishing? Common sense this is, isn't it? Correct? Then is correct as well sequence. First, again repeat the sequence. First, what is it that you, where you will get it, where you will not get it. Third, how long, seegram or slow. Third, fourth, after getting it, how Sashwata it will be. After getting it, how Sashwata it will be. Effort put 10 minutes only na. You still want it, get it. Put effort put only 10 minutes. It's not worth it. Na clarity you have. Isn't it? I will follow. Fourth one is how Sashwata it is. Longevity of it. Yeah. ஒரு வீடு கட்டுறோம் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் என்ன கேள்வி கேட்போம் எவ்வளோ நாள் நிற்கும்னு கேட்குறோம்ல யூ பில்ட் அ ஹவுஸ் சாரி ஐம் ஸ்பீக்கிங் இன் மை லாங்குவேஜ் ஆல் ஆஃப் யூ லேர்ன் தமிழ் அல்பனா லேர்ன் தமிழ் ஃபாஸ்ட் அமித் லேர்ன் தமிழ் ஃபாஸ்ட் ஹிந்தி என்றால் ஐ வில் நாட் லேர்ன் யூ லேர்ன் யூ லேர்ன் தமிழ் ஃபாஸ்ட் எவ்வளோ நாள் சார் நிற்கும் இந்த வீடு யூ புட் so much of crores, you put 10 minutes only it will last. Abdina, what will you do? What will you do? What will you do? It's okay if you take it, you are wise. Because 10th minute, you know it's going to lose. It's still worth it. Supposing that which is going to be lost in 10 minutes, you assume that it is going to be there with you forever. It means you lack clarity. So fourth thing that you need is what? Sashwata. Okay. Last. One more. One more is coming. What is the last one? When Yama comes and knocks at you. Last one. When Yama comes and knocks at you and say, Vango pola, Yama will say, come. அப்போ எல்லாம் வருமா ஜீரோவா எல்லாம் வருமா ஜீரோவா for me everything will come sir, for others is zero. Yeah, for others zero sir, but for me my hope is what? If you actually understood it as zero, you will not have such a black market value for it. Or the very fact that you are having a black market value means you think it is Sashwata. You think it is Sashwata, you think it will be there with you for a long period of time, and also it will continue to come with you. So it means what? Thinking na 5 step, 5 clarity work. 5 things are needed. PPT மாதிரி போட்டு வச்சுக்கோ. இல்லையா? First, what are you seeking? First thing, what are you seeking? Ask yourself. Thinking, examining, questioning every moment, every facet of life. What are you seeking? What are you seeking? First question. I want this person, sir. I want this person. Pratipaksha Bhavana teaches you how to understand it rightly. Yeah. Object doesn't matter. Object or person. I'm just using person as an example. Why only this person? Chemistry, biology, and all works out, sir. Yeah, chemistry is working out, biology is working out, physics is working out, mathematics is working out, and life is gone wrong. Yeah, everything is working out, life is wrong. What does it? So why this person only? Yeah, this and all you don't understand. Vedanta people can't understand all these things. Why only this? Shankaracharya and later Vidyaranya, all of them explains it so beautifully. Why this person, such a good person? Supposing if there are 100 more good people you bring in front. No, not like that, sir. Something else. Something else. Beyond a point. Beyond a point. Beyond a point, you just don't. Beyond a point, you just don't know. A very pure, unguided attraction it is. Are you able to follow? That is why I always say this as a joke, no? If anybody has, if two people meet and they have fallen in love, you should not ask question why. You should never ask this question why. Now, why in the question if they had asked this question why, they would not do it. The fact that they are doing it means they didn't ask why. Yeah, why not? Then why will they do it? And some reasoning they will give. Some reasoning they will give. And every reason can be argued and proven. Every reason that they give can be argued and proven wrong. Yeah. Mind will not change. It means what? It means what? It has become stubborn. The like has taken over and the purpose is lost. You don't know what you are seeking. Therefore, the first important question to develop clarity, which is what he's also, which is what he's saying is start the process of thinking, examining, questioning. First thing is what? Ask, what is the purpose of wanting something? Don't ask what is the purpose of living in Radalla, because we are not yet mature to that question. So first thing is what is the purpose of I? Second, now I am clear. This is what I want. Then next thing, what is the next important thing that you need to know? Enga pona kadikum, enga pono, enga pogudadu, isn't it? Which shop you will get it, which shop you won't get it. Second clarity, that is also needed. No, you should know which shop you will get, and also you should know in which shop you won't get. If you are going to the wrong shop, then what do you do? Yeah. I want tomato. Then Reliance Digital pona. Yeah. What will you get? You want tomato, no? You should go to Paramudira. Phone, no, you have to go to digital. Right. You want to go wrong places, you go, means you lack clarity. Second, where you will get, where you will not get. Third, Huh? How long? How long? Isn't it? Doctor போனாலும் first கேள்வி என்ன கேட்கிறோம்? Go to the doctor. First question you ask is what? How long? If times are na, you're useless. He says, no, 3 days will be all right. Another doctor tells you in 2 minutes you will be all right. Who's more attractive? Who's attractive? The 2-minute doctor is attractive. So third important clarity is how long. Shraddha is decided by the longevity of it. Longer it takes, deeper Shraddha you need. Because in order to run, in order to walk that distance, you need that third. அப்புறம் fourth என்ன சொன்ன? Longevity. How Sashwata it will be. How Sashwatam it will be. I have made, I knew what I want, I knew where to go, I knew where not to go, and I have made all the effort to get it. What is the fourth thing that you need to know? How Sashwata it will be. How long it will stay. Appadam price and the yeah, then only it is matching. No. Last one, clarity. What is the last one? What is the last one? When Yama comes. That's the fifth point. When Yama comes, what will come? You. What will come with you and what will not come with you. And Yama is such a good person. If at all he's a person, I don't know. Yeah. He knows what to erase in us and what to keep in us. By mistake, if he erases the wrong thing, we will be happy. But he knows what to erase. And he knows what to keep. And the clarity. So when Yama comes in, what will come with you? What is the clarity again? What he will erase and what he will ensure that travel with you. What he will ensure that you forget. Yeah. What you will forget? The body and everything that is associated with the body, you will forget. What will not get erased? What will not get erased? The samskaras, the karmas. Clear? How much of intellect you have, how much of intellect you don't have. All that doesn't get erased. It means you need to have a clarity on that also. Humanity has stopped thinking, means they are not doing these 5 things. Everybody will turn back and ask, what are you talking, sir? What is this Vedanta talking? All the scientific advancement is because of thinking only we have got. What is meant by humanity stopped thinking means what now? And the truth is humanity has stopped thinking. Why? Because the humanity has started to believe fulfillment of likes and dislikes is the priority of life. And in order to fulfill the likes and dislikes, what do you need? Wealth. In order to fulfill your likes and dislikes, what do you need? Wealth. Wealth you need. Therefore, wealth becomes so important. Wealth is meaningful only as long as your likes and dislikes are meaningful. If your likes and dislikes have become meaningless to you, wealth will become meaningless to you. Wealth will be meaningful as long as you have likes and dislikes, because it is likes and dislikes can be fulfilled only through wealth. Yeah, isn't it? So when does it become meaningful? When does it becomes useless? For a person who has overcome likes and dislikes. It's not me. You follow what I'm saying? Humanity has stopped thinking means what? Certain things that comes so naturally And humanity have forgotten this law. What is that law? Remember this. All that comes natural to you is detrimental. Take it or leave it. All that comes natural to you is detrimental. All that is evolutionary to you comes through Shraddha, effort. Again, all that comes naturally to you is detrimental, isn't it? Hunger is natural, no, sir. How is it detrimental? Huh? Hunger is natural, no? How is it detrimental? Have you ever seen a tiger, a lion, hunting down a deer and throwing it away, saying it's not tasty? Have you ever seen that? Oh, I was looking for an Indian cuisine deer, and unfortunately, I got African deer. Therefore, I will not, it will hunt the African deer, and will it leave behind? It won't. Are you able to follow? It means human beings act on their likes and dislikes. It's so naturally it comes. All the negative emotions come so naturally, so naturally. Isn't it? All the negative emotions come so naturally. Day before, yesterday, day before, I don't remember. One of the days, very recent, yesterday, day before, I was saying, in my close family, they adopted a child. They had a child and they wanted to adopt. They timed it in such a way that both the child comes together and all. Now, the child that they have is 11 months old. Yeah, 11 months old. The adopted child that came into the house is 8 months old. And they are in the same house just for one day. Please understand, just for one day. Amount of jealous. The amount of jealous. Anybody that goes and takes the new child, the existing child jumps on them. Under normal circumstance, the child will not even come. You say, Vada, 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 na. He pretend. He said, very simple. And the child to go and see what this fellow will do. Instantly. Now, who taught that? Who taught that? We don't outgrow that. Are you able to follow? We just don't outgrow that at all. That anger, that jealous, all is so infantry it is. And we just don't outgrow that at all. That's what he's saying. Humanity has stopped thinking and growing and not growing. Who taught that 11-month-old child to be jealous? It is. You can see it. Yeah, you can see it. It will go near the child. It will do for 15-20 seconds. If nobody is seeing, attack it gives. It's so funny. So funny. We can understand the innocence. We laugh at it because we assume the child is going to outgrow that jealous. We assume that the child is going to outgrow that jealous. That's why we play with the child. We laugh at it. The truth is, jealous shifts to something else. The child doesn't overgrow jealousy. The child doesn't outgrow jealousy. The jealous shifts from something to something else. It means what? It's still the. Are you able to follow? All that comes natural to a human being is detrimental. Take it or leave it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't make any difference. All that is evolutionary comes through. All that is evolutionary comes through knowledge, understanding, tapas. Knowledge, understanding, tapas, shraddha. All that is evolutionary comes only through that. Yeah. 5 months, 6-month-old child. The child is holding on to something. Pull it from the child's hand. What happens? The child gets so agitated, crying. It feels the actual pain. It feels the pain. 20-year-old also does it, 40-year-old also does this, 80-year-old also does the same thing. What difference does it make? Object has shifted, but we are still living life like that. That's why Krishna says, Bala. Infants they are. Human beings are, no sir, you don't know I have a PhD. Yeah, you don't know I have a PhD. You don't know I am a CEO. You don't know I am this. You don't know I am that. Doesn't matter what you are. You are still that infant only, because humanity has stopped thinking. You follow? So the law is what? All that comes natural to you is detrimental, and all that is evolutionary comes through. The anger is natural. Corollary to this. Natural doesn't mean it's right. Remember that. We use the word natural and make it looks right. We just use the word natural and make it looks right. Anger is natural. Correct? Doesn't mean is it right? Half right, half wrong. When I get angry, it's right. When the other gets angry, it's wrong. Where is the problem, sir? Problem. Our life is very clear, isn't it? If I get angry at you, it's right. That's for your welfare only, I get angry. And if you get angry at me in return, Shabanda. I will not do all that. I'm just saying. Shabanda. Why? Because natural means it's right if I do it. When the other does it, why can't I say it is natural, it's right? Although humanity has stopped, this is what is meant to be humanity has stopped thinking. Are you able to follow? If I get jealous, it's right. And if the other gets jealous, it's wrong. Correct? Everything is like that. That's why we live the double standard life. Double standard. Humanity has stopped thinking. With this, we conclude for today, and we'll continue next week.
So we have a few clarifications. Are you okay to take it now by Amit?
Yeah. What is the clarification?
Just put it on the screen.
If you are 100% objective person, then what's the use of emotions? Amit, emotions will be very beneficial only if you are 100% objective. What is the use of emotion? It's a benevolent emotions. The emotion will turn benevolent, and that emotion will be of Loka Sangraha. So what is the use of emotion when you have become 100% objective? Loka Sangraha it will become. Beneficial it will become. You follow? The question is 100% objective, then what is the use of emotions? Then only the proper use happens. What is the proper use? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. In these three worlds, what am I going to get, Arjuna, by acting? See, by doing something, am I going to get something? By not doing anything, am I going to lose anything? You all, if you do something, you will get. If you don't do something, you will lose. You do something because you want it. You get something, you lose something. You get something, you lose something. That's why you all act, don't act. Now, from these three worlds, what am I going to get? There's nothing. And yet, I engage myself in tireless action. Why? Loka Sangraha, he says. You follow, Amit? Loka Sangraha becomes the usefulness of emotion.
Loka Sangrata means benefit.
Welfare of Loka
Everyone.
means you become a benefactor to the entire creation.
Got it. Thank you.
Next clarification. Is there any referring to your statement, you can't use something from outside to guide the mind. You could borrow someone's intellect to guide your mind, can't you? Yes. You should borrow. But it will not really bring about a transformation. So borrowing is a temporary thing. It is like using, it is like the child using walker. The child uses walker before the leg muscles become strong for it to stand by itself. It uses walker. The old man, when there is a fracture, they use walker. So similarly, borrowing intellect by someone else is like using the walker. I need to use it, but I cannot become dependent on it. I can be grateful to it, but I should not be dependent on it. You follow? In the initial stages, we all need to borrow. No doubt about it. But then we cannot be satisfied with it. Number one. Number two, beyond a point, it won't help also. Therefore, I use it, I borrow it, and quickly become what is known as self-sufficient. You follow? Therefore, to answer the second clarification. You could borrow someone's intellect to guide your mind, can't you? Yes. Third one. How do you gain conviction to act the way your intellect guides you? How to transform the information into wisdom? That's a process. There is a time involved in it. It's a process and there is the time involved in it. And Shraddha, I have to continue the practice with Shraddha over a period of time. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma, he says. Very quickly you will become, he says in the Bhagavad Gita. Very soon. Now, what is that very soon? Maybe 3 janmas, maybe 30 janmas, maybe 30 years. We don't know what is that very soon is. But Kshipram bhavati dharma. Very soon you get it. Very soon you get it. How soon? That is something that is always, that is something that we really don't know how effective it is. In addition to appearing confident with an impulsive mind, wouldn't you be confident if your intellect is well developed? Yes. With an impulsive mind also, you look very confident. When your intellect is well developed also, you are very confident. What is the difference between the two? The impulsive mind confidence can go away in a split second. One thing going wrong is enough for the confidence to come crashing down and sit stubbornly without moving. Are you able to follow? Intellect confidence is what? Irrespective of what is happening, it can continue to do what it ought to do. You follow the difference, Amit? And impulsive mind also appears confident, but that confidence is not real confidence. Why? One small thing going wrong is enough to shake the entire foundation. In the case of the well-developed intellect, irrespective of things going in your way or not going in your way, you can keep that aside and continue to do what you ought to. That is a fundamental difference. So to put it technically, vulnerability and not vulnerability. The impulsive, confident mind is vulnerable to disasters. That's why they always say, on hindsight, I think I should not have done that. On hindsight, I think I should not have done that. Isn't it? Why? At that point of time, I was so confident that I am doing the right thing. What makes me to be so confident that I am doing the right thing? Just that impulse. So what is objective? What is objective? What does the growth means? There is also a confidence, but the vulnerability will not be there. You follow? That is a fundamental difference. Anything else? That's all? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll continue. Oh, sorry. You have something, Ma? Okay, with this we conclude.